Bitcoin, the digital currency that is changing the world. Yet there is one question that no one seems to be able to answer. And that question is, who created it? Was it an individual, a group, or something far more secretive than that? From governmental agencies to tech geniuses, there are so many wild conspiracies out there. In today's video, we are going to break down the facts. And we're going to try to solve the mystery that keeps the world guessing. And if you enjoy watching videos like this one, then make sure to hit the like button. That will also really help me with the YouTube algorithm to reach more people like you. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button as well, because I'm going to be posting regularly throughout this crypto market cycle to help you to make sense of everything that is happening and to help you to stay informed and to get an edge in the market. Now, let's dive in. Who really is behind Bitcoin? That is what we're going to be breaking down step by step. And I need to give a little warning, a little disclaimer over here that some of the theories that you might hear might sound really shocking and crazy. And at the end of this video, you might not look at Bitcoin the same way anymore as you're doing right now. So you have been warned, but I do think this is important to put all of this out there so that you at least understand the wider context in which people think about Bitcoin and the creation of Bitcoin. So let's put all of the facts that we know next to each other. So Satoshi Nakamoto released the white paper, the Bitcoin white paper. You can find it on the internet. You can simply Google it. Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. It's a white paper that outlines what Bitcoin is, how it works, how it can be created, how it can be managed, how the algorithm works, etc. This was released on a forum in 2008. Then in 2009, the Genesis block was mined. What do we mean with the Genesis block? Well, when you are transacting on the Bitcoin network, all of those transactions get bundled together into bigger blocks of transactions. Those transactions get processed by the Bitcoin miners, and the Bitcoin miners in turn earn a reward in Bitcoin. And Satoshi mined the Genesis block. So basically he was verifying the first block of transactions on the Bitcoin blockchain. And this happened in 2009, approximately 1 year after he released the Bitcoin white paper. In 2010, Satoshi disappeared. He was active on a forum. He posted a few things left and right. And after that moment, nobody ever heard of him again. Why is that? Why don't we know the identity of Satoshi Nakamoto? Who can Satoshi Nakamoto be? Well, I've got some theories that I'm going to share with you. But one thing is also quite noteworthy, which is Satoshi mined around 1 million Bitcoin, and it has been stuck in his wallet and it never really got moved. It's just sitting there. This is his wallet address, Satoshi's wallet address, and when you look at it on the blockchain explorer, there's a little bit more than 1 million Bitcoin in his wallet. So yeah, that is just quite insane. So why would the person behind a $500 billion market, and in fact right now it's a $1 trillion market because Bitcoin is a $1 trillion asset class, why would someone just vanish? It's insane. Is there a bigger reason? Or, you know, an average person would be quite proud that they have been able to create something like Bitcoin, right? But maybe there's a deeper reason why Satoshi Nakamoto never revealed its identity. So that's also what we're going to be uncovering in this video today. So one of the first theories that is circulating in the crypto community and on the internet is that Satoshi Nakamoto is not just one individual. It's a group of people that have been working together to create Bitcoin and to get it off the ground. And can you take any guess? Who do you think is this group of people? Can you come up with any names? Well, I'm going to reveal the names. At least I'm not 100% certain, but within the crypto community, there seems to be a sort of consensus that these three people are the main suspects. On the left side, we have Hal Finney. Hal Finney is the first ever person to receive a Bitcoin transaction from Satoshi Nakamoto. And he had a well-known background in cryptography. So his close connections to Satoshi Nakamoto and the first transaction and his background in cryptography make him a very great suspect for being part of this pseudo-anonymous group called Satoshi Nakamoto. Then there's another person called Nick Szabo. Nick Szabo actually has a really interesting track record because not that long before Bitcoin was created, he actually created something which was called BitGold. And it was very similar actually to Bitcoin. It had a lot of the properties and technologies that Bitcoin was built upon, only Bitcoin was just a little bit better, and it was launched anonymously, which probably helped it to get a lot of traction as well. So Nick Szabo is something that technology-wise and skill-wise would have the track record to launch something like Bitcoin. And then on the right side, we have Adam Back, who is the creator of Hashcash. And Hashcash is a proof-of-work system, which is also the consensus algorithm that Bitcoin is built upon. And if you don't know what proof-of-work means, well, proof-of-work means that miners earn rewards by processing transactions on the network. They're working to process transactions, and as a result, they're earning rewards. And when you add these three people together, their skill sets and their vision and their previous work, if you combine that, then it would be Bitcoin. And that is why the crypto community thinks that these three people are involved in the inception of Bitcoin. Now, could they have been working together? For sure. They definitely had the right skills and vision. But why didn't they take any credits for their creation? Again, many people that I know have very big egos. When they've achieved something, they want to let the world know that they were the ones that did this. But what if that recognition and that ownership of Bitcoin would actually put you in jail or could get you killed? That might sound very harsh, but it's something that seems to be the reality that we are living in lately. Because not that long ago, Pavel Durov, the CEO of Telegram, the founder of Telegram, was jailed in France for not willing to cooperate with the authorities and handing over user data. Basically, Pavel Durov was saying, I prioritize the privacy of my users. I'm not going to cooperate with governments. And governments are now putting a lot of pressure on him and even threatening to sue him and put him in jail for many, many years to come and fine him very high amounts of money. So when you're not cooperating with the governments, with the authorities, then it could get you into really nasty position. And by not having a clear known founder, Bitcoin kind of avoids this situation. We also saw another case where Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, or now it's called Meta, also published a letter to its shareholders claiming that it was forced by the Biden and Harris administration to cooperate and hand over user data and to censor users on the platform to make sure that they would only see particular kinds of content and not see other kinds of content. So if you have a known face, a known founder, then that creates a risk for the system. And Satoshi Nakamoto, whether it's an individual or group of people, might have already anticipated that situations like this could happen if Bitcoin would gain a critical mass. And by not having that, we as a community don't have that risk. Now the second theory, and I told you it's going to get crazier and crazier from here, that is that Bitcoin was actually created by governmental agencies, in particular the NSA, the National Security Agency, and the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency of the United States of America. And why do we have this theory? Is there any proof? Are there any clues? Well, yes. There is proof. And that proof is that Bitcoin is running on the SHA-256 hashing algorithm. That's a cryptographic algorithm which the NSA actually developed in order to send encrypted messages. And we also know that the US government has been experimenting with digital currencies and cryptography in the past. So this could be a logical extension of their previous work. And why would they? Why would they create something like Bitcoin? Well, it could be a tool for them for mass financial surveillance, because everything that's happening on the blockchain is open and transparent. You can see all the wallets, all the transactions, and this could be a small experiment for them to see how they can shape the future of global finance with a digital currency. So that is the rationale behind this theory. So then the counter argument is, what if Bitcoin was a government project? Why would they make it decentralized and so hard to control? Because right now the power is in the control of the miners. Miners vote on the future of Bitcoin. Miners are needed to make the Bitcoin network work. As long as there are miners, there will be Bitcoin. The third theory is that Bitcoin was created by big banks. So here you see a greedy banker. I think this is from the movie Wall Street, Gordon Gekko, known for the famous sentence, "Greed is good." Well, many bankers are greedy. There are stories of, for example, the Rothschilds, a very wealthy family that has their own bank, that they were funding two sides of the war, so that they were basically the ones that were profiting. Doesn't matter which side won or lost, they were profiting from both sides. And banks are always looking for ways to maximize their own profits. So what would be the rationale for banks to invent something like Bitcoin? Well, what if this would be a Trojan horse for them? A tool created by the banks as an experiment for a digital financial system. And they have carefully planned it to launch it in such a way that it would grow as it is growing right now. It would seem in the eyes of the public that they would be resisting it just to make it more trustworthy in the eyes of the masses. They are, reverse psychology playing on the masses. So by saying like, no, we don't trust this, we don't have this under our control, we cannot touch it, as a result, the masses will start to trust it. Whereas in reality, they might be the ones pulling the strings and actually having created Bitcoin. That is a very wild theory. Again, I told you, I warned you, there's going to be many wild theories in here. But could it be that Bitcoin's ultimate purpose is to lead us to a cashless society controlled by the same financial elites who control traditional money, so the banking system? That is a very interesting food for thought. What do you believe? Do you think bankers could have created Bitcoin, or is that too far-fetched? Now let's talk about the final theory, which is that Bitcoin is used as a tool for the global elite. The theory here is that, Bitcoin is a tool to usher in a new world order. I'm pretty sure you've heard of groups like the World Economic Forum, the WEF, the Bilderberg Group, and maybe companies like BlackRock, which are known to be kind of the puppeteers behind the strings, that own the media, that have a lot of influence in the world, and that want to control the mass population. They have actually released a manifesto in which they also announce stuff that they want to have universal basic income. They basically want you to own nothing and be happy. And this could be one way for them to usher in this cashless society where there is full transparency and control over people's finances. So could, again, this be part of their overall strategy? Could Bitcoin be one step further towards achieving their bigger picture of creating this utopia? So here you see Klaus Schwab, which is the founder or the chairman of the World Economic Forum. Again, he is known for meeting with some of the most influential business leaders and world leaders around the world. Again, they're trying to form a collective of power players which might influence the world in such a way that the power goes to a very small group of people which control all of the money, all of the assets, and dominate what the rest can do. Here you see Larry Fink, the founder of BlackRock, which is known as the company that owns the world. They own very large shares in media companies, broadcasting stations, magazines, you name it. So they control a lot of the narrative that people read and listen to and get indoctrinated. They also own a lot of the companies. that are running the world, the food supply, the financial system. So this is another very powerful world elite, a very powerful leader with a very strong company, which might benefit from an asset which is completely transparent, digital, and cashless. After all, as we move towards a cashless society, this is a question that I want to ask you. Who do you think will have the most control? Is it going to be the people that are using Bitcoin or the people that are controlling the networks and systems it runs on? Which brings us to the next bit of information or the next clue. Earlier this year, we saw that Bitcoin or that BlackRock launched their Bitcoin spot ETF, and that many large asset managers on Wall Street have also launched their Bitcoin spot ETF. So here you see the iShares Bitcoin Trust, which is BlackRock's Bitcoin spot ETF, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, Fidelity, and BlackRock right now owns almost 360,000 Bitcoin. And all of these spot ETFs combined own almost 1 million Bitcoin. So now you're seeing that the global elite might be playing out their strategy of slowly controlling this new asset class and gaining more control. You also see news articles that BlackRock is now a major shareholder in 4 out of the 5 largest Bitcoin miners. So Bitcoin miners are like the banking system of Bitcoin. Bitcoin miners can vote on the future of Bitcoin. They can change the network, they can change the protocol, they can change the code. So having players like BlackRock being so heavily involved into the Bitcoin mining space and Bitcoin in general and buying up such a large part of the supply might be a sign that the global elite are slowly expanding their influence, and this might have been a Trojan horse which plays into their bigger picture. So what is the real truth? What is the real truth? That is why you wanted to watch this video. That's why you clicked on the thumbnail and you've watched it all the way up till here. So why hasn't Satoshi Nakamoto revealed himself? What is at stake? Just like Pavel Durov and Mark Zuckerberg that have been pressured by the governments to hand over user data and to censor users on the platform, is that one of the reasons why Satoshi Nakamoto never truly revealed its identity? And more importantly, could such a revelation, or could it be that whenever the founder of Bitcoin reveals himself, could it mean that that would actually completely destroy the whole concept of Bitcoin? Because so many people are believing in Bitcoin, especially because it is a leaderless, it is a project without a founder. It is adopted by the community. When Satoshi Nakamoto created and launched Bitcoin in 2009, it was slowly adopted by the community, and it is now owned by the community, managed by the community, and ran by the community. It is almost seen as it's almost seen as money created by the people for the people, and not by a power-hungry central government that wants to exert control over its people. And that is the big appeal of Bitcoin. Some believe that as long as Satoshi Nakamoto remains anonymous, Bitcoin will stay leaderless and neutral. But the moment Satoshi reveals its identity, it could undermine everything Bitcoin stands for. And I believe that too. If Satoshi Nakamoto would stand up now and reveal itself, I think it would be a shock for the entire Bitcoin community, but not in a great way. I actually believe that that could be one of the biggest black swan events. So if you don't know what a black swan event is, that is a very small probability event which has a very big impact on the world. And I think if Satoshi Nakamoto reveals itself or moves this 1 million Bitcoin out of its wallet, I think that would be a shock for the Bitcoin community and might change the way that people look at Bitcoin in general. So the truth is, we may never know who Satoshi Nakamoto is, but one thing is for sure, the mystery of who's really behind Satoshi Nakamoto will keep us wondering for quite a while. And as long as Bitcoin keeps on growing as an asset class, the legend of Satoshi Nakamoto will live on. And I personally believe it's a pity that we don't know who he is, not because I want to know his identity, because I told you it would be quite a big shock for the crypto community if the identity of Satoshi Nakamoto would actually be revealed. But I believe that Satoshi Nakamoto deserves a Nobel Prize. I think what he created, or what they created, if they were a group, I think it's really beautiful. A peer-to-peer digital monetary system, which it's not possible to commit fraud in the way that you cannot change the books, you cannot reverse transactions. It's one of the most secure networks in the world. There's so many miners that are securing it. There's so many clever people involved in the community, and it has brought so much good to the world. So that's why I believe Satoshi Nakamoto should earn a Nobel Prize. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I put quite a lot of effort into this video to map everything out into a logical sequence, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit the like button so I know that you got good value out of it. And if you want to see more valuable videos like this one, tutorials, breakdowns, make sure to subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be posting regularly throughout this crypto market to help you to make sense of everything that is going on. All right, that's it. Peace out. See you in the next one.